Hello and welcome back to City Skylines 2. My name's Nedman, I'm the founder of Nedman Industries, and in this series I build on a map called Starfish Point that I've created myself just to build the city of my dreams, as you can potentially see below. This is the more tropical beachy side of the city, and there's a reason that we're over here. I won't give away too much just yet, but there is a reason that we are over here. In the previous episode, we worked a bit on expanding the downtown sort of area near to where that kind of airport is. Kind of out the back, that's sort of where we built that lovely tech park, which I'll show you shortly. But we're going to be switching sides this episode. We're going to be doing something a little bit different. Moving kind of away from that downtown area just for a couple of episodes, while I try and draw some ideas back out, some inspiration for the downtown sort of area. But yes, we're going to be doing something different. It might involve lovely blue waters, lovely holidays on the yachts, sailing through the seas, somewhere to park your billionaire's yacht. Yes, we're going to be working on a marina, hopefully, fingers crossed. I will explain. So you may recall several episodes ago we built this area down here, which is very nice, very beautiful, tropical sort of nice holiday destination, rich living sort of vibes over here. It looks really good, and it kind of all the way along this beach here. It looks pretty fantastic. But something bugged me, and it was this area that used to be here. If you can remember back, we had basically lots of row housing, a big, I think it was the disease control centre and all that stuff, and then we had a few buildings over in this section as well. I've destroyed it all. I don't want it there. I think we need to try our best to kind of stick with the theme that we've got going on down here and just make this attractive, because it is just not that attractive, if I'm being completely honest with you. Well, it wasn't anyway. Well, it definitely isn't now, but the build that we had beforehand in this section here, it just wasn't great. So I would like to revamp it. We've got a few new props and a few new assets, that sort of stuff, that come with bridges and ports. So I'm thinking that we could potentially look at trying to make some sort of marina, make it nice and posh, try and make use of some ferries, some of the new ferries, and go from there. So that is the plan, initial plan. Whether it works or not, different stuff. And obviously a recap from yesterday. This is the downtown sort of area that we've been working on. It is coming together quite nicely. It is definitely filling out a lot more. Yeah, it looks more like a city every bit we add to it. We added these buildings here. So this conference centre with this nice unique sort of walkway up to it, which I think looks really quite nice. This tech building, kind of tech park, is the prop. I've just added some other props and stuff like that around here, so it looks pretty nice. Nice place to come and chill, eat some food, all of that good stuff. So that again is looking rather nice. And then the same in this section here. We just added a few little buildings here and there. A few little props in as well, just to kind of tidy that up ever so slightly. And of course the elevated subway line runs around the back of there and connects back in underneath somewhere. So yeah, all is going well. The reason that we're not continuing with that is just because I'm at a bit of I've got a bit of a block. I can't quite think what I want to put in here yet. And instead of just me aimlessly zoning out grid and placing buildings, I think it's better to wait until we're feeling it. We're feeling that area. Instead, let's try to go to work on the marina. Now, so here we are at our plain open land with not an awful lot going on here. You're just going to have to kind of hear me out on this one. I want to expand this river. Potentially, we could maybe draw it out a little bit as well. Potentially somewhere along here, have a little lake or similar. But I definitely want to expand it out, and I'm going to go a bit rogue, but I would like to have a ferry line essentially going through this sort of river and kind of round, and a few drop off and stop off points along the way. I think that'd be really cool. And then once we've got that, we can set up ferries all along the coast here that go all the way across the city. I think that's quite nice to have, in my opinion. Again, it is just my opinion. It might not work, but I just think, you know, a little bit of uniqueness never hurt anybody, did it? I'm sure. So that is a bit of an idea. In order to do that, obviously, we're going to have to expand said riverway, because this is a narrow boatway, and it is quite narrow, as you can probably see. And yeah, so that's the kind of plan. We're going to have to do a bit of terraforming here and there, make space for some decent sized water, make use of some quays, etc. But that is no dramas at all. So first things first, I'm going to try and mess around with the water just a little bit and see what we can do to make this work. So I'm just thinking probably need, I want that on 100% strength, and I reckon at 50 for now would probably work. We're probably going to want to draw that out and just make it wider. Don't want it to go crazy just yet, but just wide enough, and we can always scale the water back. So I'm going to try and adjust the waterway. Hopefully it will look a little bit better. I'm just trying to get a scale of how wide this is going to need to be for our narrow boat. So I'm just going to place this narrow waterway through here. Just kind of see how we end up. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it should just work. And then the next query from there will be a big problem. So I'm hoping that if I was to place ferry stop shoreline right on the edge here, it would just count as connecting up. It looks like it does. I don't want to have to place it away and have to connect it up. I'm hoping it'll just go like this and it'll be connected. But who knows? We don't know until we try, so we've got to try. So I might be going a bit far-fetched here, and this is probably a bit over the top, but I'm just going to try this and see what happens. It doesn't look good, it doesn't look good, but let's not force it. We're not here to force things. But we'll just see what we can kind of do. See if we can somehow connect this river all the way around here. Part of me thinks it's a bit too thick, which is probably right. I'm not going to lie. This bit probably doesn't need to be as thick, so what I might do actually is just reduce the size of that, because we're not going to be running any boats up there, so I might just make that smaller and have it as more of a smaller sort of stream more than anything. Try and bring that there, and just try and make that just a little bit tighter like that. Fingers crossed. Be alright. There we go, just reduce the size of that again, and hopefully that should start to look a little bit more normal. We'll probably just need to dump a couple of water sources in there to get the water to actually make its way through, because it doesn't seem to want to do it at the moment. But shouldn't be too much of a problem. And I would also like just a little offshoot, actually a small little lake area as well. That would be quite nice to have. I'm not going to lie to you, this wasn't actually part of the vision, but we're kind of here now, so we'll just do it, and if we don't like it, we'll get rid of it. That good old trick of don't know until you try it. Just like that. Comes out a little bit, curves a little bit, and then sort of lake like this. Seems rather large, doesn't it? I think that's quite large. Not sure if I would choose to have it that big, given the amount of. You know, it's not that bad. Not that bad. It's not that bad. It could work. A little bit of adjustment, and that might work out. Possibly. Don't know. Not sure. I just have this vision of these ferries just going through the city. It just being quite nice. I would like to make a kind of very much water-themed city at some point, with ferries going everywhere, all sorts of various drawbridges and stuff like that. That would look fantastic, but just for the moment, I think this is probably going to be the best that we can do on this particular map. So, but still, that goes all the way in and all the way out and round. I mean, it's a start. It is something, isn't it? We could, if we really wanted to, have a little ferry drop in here as well. I think that'd be quite cool, but do we want that? Not sure. Not sure. Not sure. Not sure. Don't know. Oh, yeah. Not even speaking English at this point. I'm just making noises because my brain is like thinking. The next thing I need to do while this water is filling up is just make sure that all of this terrain that we're going to potentially be working with is somewhat flat all around, so that when we build our docks out to our marina, it doesn't go too skew-if, because it can be temperamental. So I'm just hoping that if we flatten some of this out, we might be able to avoid any issues that we may have. So I'm just going to bring these out just slightly, make it nice and flat for us, and we'll start taking a look at potentially laying down the foundations for our marina. So we'll just soften that up. We know the marina's not going to go all the way out to there, so that'll be fine. So I'm just trying to gauge a height of where these guys sit at, because basically what I want is find the thing now. It's been that long since I've been right. I want essentially these to sit pretty flat, basically dead on with the quay. So let's say, for example, the quay's here. We want that to be exactly flat. We don't want any elevation. But yeah, so that'll be exactly 0, which is fantastic. So that kind of idea, you know what I mean? Good. Glad we're on the same page. Right, now this is where the magic happens. Let's think and plan how we want this to work. It is going to be more difficult than I initially anticipated. So what I think might actually be easier, which is going to be very controversial, but if we just draw it out somewhat on land which we know to be flat, I'm hoping that that'll just make it easier for us to build. Because at the moment it's a nightmare. We're losing all sorts of elevation when we're trying to place down keys and stuff. So what I would like is just to have a nice flat concrete kind of breakwater. Do I want it that size though? That's medium. This one's wider. Not much wider though, is it? Like in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much wider. How wide are you? And I feel like this one's not got a rounded end either, which is a bit sad. I would very much prefer this one because I think at the end it's actually rounded. Alternatively, go something like that, which would be a wide quay with pedestrian path, but I'm not entirely sure what we want just yet. But what kind of angle are we at then? That's probably as straight as we're going to get it for now. Okay, let's try this. Once again, I appear to be at war with the ocean. It doesn't seem to be wanting to play ball with me whatsoever. Not really like at the right sort of angle, is it? But I'm gonna have to settle for this. we want that to come off. Nice 45-degree angle would be fantastic. And then another one about here would also be great. I have no experience in marinas, so before you shout at me, it is what it is. Okay, get rid of this. Why is it at that angle? I mean, we can always adjust the sea anyway, the land, but probably as good as we're going to get ish, really. What do we have? So that'll be kind of the entrance for the boats, sort of. I mean, it would almost be nicer to have that kind of filled in a little bit, wouldn't it? So, for example, that like that. We almost wanted to do this with parallel roads, really, didn't we? To get that to look right. In an ideal world. That's not quite right. The maths ain't math in there, so let's get rid of that and try and see if parallel roads might be able to assist us in any way. We are struggling. So parallel roads don't work with keys, which is fantastic, so that's made our life a little bit more difficult. So looks like we're just going to go back to the drawing board again, see what happens. I might start off from here this time. And I might drag that down like this. Bring it out a little bit like that. Like that. Then we'll just, for now, we'll just close that off. Hopefully with this, without it going up. For some reason it wants to go up. Stop going up. Gosh, this game. You me. Just what? Sorry. Just do what I want you to do, please. Right. Come on. Connect. Ideally at a nice 90 degree, please, sir. That's 90 degrees. That's 180. And then we'll just try and link that up somehow. I'm still just kind of playing around with the ideas at the moment, trying to hopefully make it somewhat right somewhere down the line. It is proving to be a little bit more difficult than anticipated. However, don't go out your way to try and make things work, then you'll never succeed. So let's just keep pushing through and kind of hope that we maybe end up with something useful at the end of this. So use put you out about here. So we're going to drag you down to there, hopefully. That'll connect up. That seems about even, and then what we want is narrow one. That should in theory be right. And we want that to be 4.5. That linked up there, 4.5. Same the other side, hopefully. Like that. Like that. Not uneven, are they? They seem like they're okay. Do seem like they're okay. It's actually going to be larger than I initially anticipated, seems. Which is going to be a bit bizarre. But we'll just try our best. It doesn't look like much at the moment. I'm not going to lie, even I can agree that this does not look fantastic. But we'll get there. Trust the process. Trust the process. Okay, so we're making a little bit of progress. We're going in the right sort of direction. We've kind of got an idea of how we want the marina to look. Whether or not it's going to look that way once we've done with it is going to be a very different question, because we somehow got to get this reclaimed as land within these sections here, and then we need to try and kind of hook it up again well over here. So it's going to be quite the task. but one that we're not necessarily afraid of, hopefully. So yeah, let's try and give this a go. What I would also like, I wouldn't mind potentially a little bit of a road, even if it's pedestrian. What height is that? That's probably about the right height, to be honest. This sort of height, so it's slightly higher than our kind of marina, and then we'll have like buildings along the side there. But is that going to be this height? I think not quite. I wonder if potentially raise that up ever so slightly, or is that actually going to be fine? I think that might actually be fine. Yeah, that'll be alright, I reckon. So we just need to figure out how we're going to connect duct. Might be the next problem. So I'm going to start off by trying to bring the land back in up tight with our marina. We'll obviously have to dekey the land side so that it kind of fits a little bit better. But for the time being, we'll do this. Bring it a little bit closer, and then what we'll do is we'll get the dekey, and then we'll just dekey all our land side. So hopefully that should then begin to somewhat sit a little bit better towards our actual land itself, just like that. And that already looks a little bit better. Not great, not good at all, but better than. So let's grab that brush again. I want it to be relatively small, and we try and just put that nice brush up to this sort of area here. All the way along. I know some of it's not making much of a difference, however, get it just that little bit right, it gives us a little bit more further down the line. None of it's intruding. Good, and then try and bring this land here as well, which might problems too. This might be easier if actually we dekey this one first on the inside, and then it will just allow us to get a real sort of measurement of where that land's going and whether it's overflowing to the outside into the ocean a bit. Grab that and that. Might as well do the same over here while we're on that section. I'm hoping this will look okay. I'm really not sure what's going to happen at the moment. It might be a horrific disaster to you. But I'm just kind of praying, you know, it's what it is, what it is. We've just got to try and see what we can build. It would just be easier if we just built something simple, but there's no fun in that, is there? Come on. The only issue with this is the land is slightly higher than these keys, so we'll have to do a little bit of land adjustment. Maybe if we just drop that down to 3, how would that kind of work out for us? 3's a bit high, isn't it? Maybe a 2er. That go. 2 seems about right. We managed to flatten that out completely. That should hopefully sit relatively flush. So we'll do that, see how it looks, and if it looks alright, then we'll think about keeping that. So this next stage, we'll get round to sorting this out in a short while. I just want to try and get this sorted first. So this next stage, we want this road to be slightly higher. We want it to be obviously higher, so we need to probably key this off as well, at least on the inside. But that means we also need to try and drop the height of just this little section here to whatever height that is. That's -2, so that's 1. If we do it to 1, that should sit flush with our walkway that we've got, but still also elevate our quay a bit as well, so you can kind of see what I'm going with, and then we can use various points to get back up onto this pedestrian path, but then we can also align some marina front sort of buildings to it as well. So I think that'd be quite a good idea. I'll flatten this out and then we'll go from there. Okay, that looks better. My only question is how we're going to be linking this lower layer, this key area here, with this one up here. So we need to try and figure out a plan for that. I just want to have a look at these keys though and see if there's anything that's a little bit nicer to use alongside there, because it does look a little bit dull, I'm not going to lie. There's just nothing. So I might just have a little look to see if any of these look any better. So that's obviously not going to show anything, is it? Because it's not on water, idiot. Right, sorry about that. 1 second. Let me just have my moments now and again. That's a ribbed pattern. That's just not doing what we want it to do just yet. Let's try again. Where are you? That's a nice ribbed pattern. I think that looks quite nice compared to... is it the same surface? Might be the same surface. Should we try upgrading it and see what happens? Should we... I feel like this is going to go horribly wrong. I might save it first. So the next thing I'm trying to think of is having a pedestrian walkway through here, which kind of glides up a little bit of a hill and connects into this section here. I think that could potentially work. Just got to try and get that idea correct, essentially. So what I might do is just bring that round like that. Add a nice key just to there. And then, oh, actually, we might not be able to do that because of the connection. Let's get rid of that key for a minute and see if we can do a nice slope from here just up to there. It's not going to do much, to be honest with you. Do much at all, it looks like. But we might just be able to squeeze in that connection just like that. Hopefully it will look a little bit less bizarre. Probably have to key that bit, potentially that bit as well, and see what we can do about the terrain that we've got going on here too. So potentially drop that down a bit there. Oh, what's that? What am I doing? That is 1 meter, isn't it? Okay, do that. See if that will connect up nicely. Am I making that higher? Aren't I? I can't really do any lower though. No, that's fine. That is fine. And then this bit can stay lower, just along that section there. This is all about that same sort of height, so that should be all right. I mean, once we sort it out, it will look a lot better, but for the time being, it will kind of work. That's let's just pull that down to here, just to make it look more like it is a designated way instead of just some random thing that we've got going on. So let's do that. Fantastic. Probably need to do something around here as well at some point. There's a lot of decorating and detailing to do in this area. It's going to prove to be quite the mission, but we'll get there. We'll get there in the end. We'll get there. It's already coming together. It's just taking some time. Okay, we've added a little bit of green around here as well, just to kind of make it look a little bit less dead and dormant for the time being. What I might do is actually just add the boat props in now so that we can get a, sort of an idea of how we're looking, what we're looking like, just because it doesn't feel like much at the moment. It is quite big, to be fair, so I think if we just add some boat props in, and then we can start building around it, make us a little bit happier, because at the moment it just looks a bit boring, doesn't it? So I'm going to pick the boat props. Those of you that don't know, of course, they would be under the nature, the rocks, because boats are nature. And they've got yachts and sailing boats. That is all. You can find other boats in here, but I'm not sure if they fit the theme of our luxury kind of arena. So we've got small fishing boat prop, net fishing boat, and then if you wanted a ship, you can also put a cargo tanker in if you want, or a large capacity ship like this. So those are the props. We're probably going to stick with our yachts and sailboats. It's annoying because it's going to be repetitive, but I think they'll look quite alright, so that's the idea that we'll go with. I'm going to start by placing them down and then we'll have a look to see how they look. Cool. Although it is a bit repetitive, and once again, I probably say it every episode, once we have asset editor, the key thing that will help the game, we'll have loads more boat props, so there'll be a lot more variety than there currently is here. These do look really good, I will say that. They've done really well with these boat props. They look fantastic, absolutely beautiful. I would just appreciate it a little bit more variety. We can probably change a few of the colours, etc. But we can never really get the colours quite right, can we? Do they even change? Let's try to see if we can change that. I mean, it changes a little bit, but it's just not the most ideal thing to be going around having to kind of change all of your boat's colours and stuff like that. So, but we can do it. It will add a little bit of variety, but again, they're all the same really deep down, to be honest with you. So do that as you will, but we'll swap a few over to a slightly different colour, make it look a little bit less repetitive. Can't change this one, but you can change the normal kind of yachts should you wish. Some people sometimes have black boats, don't they? Should we see if we can have a... Oh, that's just for the roof. Oh dear. What if we copied that and made it all black? Like that. You never know, somebody might like a cool looking black boat. Like that. It's like there's a Lamborghini boat, isn't there? A Lamborghini yacht. Maybe one of these is one of those. Who knows? Wow, that was some rhymes. Come on. But yeah, I think it looks quite cool. Oh, autosave right as I tilt. But yeah, it looks so much better with this filled out. But the next thing that I want to do is we've got a few decals that could just spice it up that little bit more, make it look a little bit nicer. So we might just give those a go and see what we kind of muster up. It might not look good. It might not, but we'll give it a go. So there are a few of these ones. They're from the Albar pack, and they basically go underwater for various different things like that. There's also sand to make your sand look nicer. But yeah, there are lots of cool different features. This one has like fish. Don't know why I struggled to say fish. You can put fish underneath, which is quite cool to look at. So we might see if we can put in a few of these. Hopefully it will look quite nice. Just put a few fish in and around our little bay. But we're probably going to have to try and blend that in quite a lot, aren't we, to get that to look sort of correct. So yeah, we'll give it a go. We'll place a few down, see what we can kind of muster up. It might look okay, it might not. But we'll give it a go. We'll see what we can do. That makes it look a little bit gloomy, doesn't it? How are we looking? It's not too bad from a distance. We just need to kind of fill in a little bit more so that it kind of blends in a bit. That's no good. We don't want it on the side, do we? Come on. Right, I'm going to try and maybe make this look cool and see what happens. I mean, it certainly looks interesting. It looks a little bit more alive than it did before. But do I like it? I mean, it looks quite cool. I think we'll just keep it for now, and hopefully it'll grow on us a little bit more. But I think that looks alright. It's not too bad. It's not awful. The next thing I'm doing is I'm just adding a lighthouse right to the tip of this. I'm going to try and create a road connection alongside here, so that actually picks it up. What? Why don't you like me? Okay, that's now connected. Praise the Lord. Obviously it doesn't have power, water, electricity, or anything like that, so I might just hook those up very quickly. Underneath the ground. Grab that. Run that into there. And then the same with a couple of pipes. Just into there. And all of our troubles disappear. Fantastic. Okay, a little lighthouse on the end. What other stuff is the right word do we have from our lovely DLC? So, 2 lighthouses. We've got a few parks here. So, Bouncy Castle Park. I don't really think that fits the luxurious theme that we're going with. Parkside Cafe looks pretty cool. Too big for our pier. That's rather large. Large lighthouse. I don't really think we want to double up on lighthouses though, do we? Though it would be cool. I don't think... I mean, it looks alright. What do you like? I think I prefer this one, to be honest. That one looks quite... alright. Is this the one with the upgrades? No. There is one that has upgrades to it. We actually just go into here. I might just add the upgrades to... Oh, that's quite cool. New little lighthouse. Was that in this section then? Where were you? That wasn't on one of the originals, was it? Is that a landmark? Look at that. Old lighthouse. Oh, that's Dench. Maybe we should use this one. That's a Dench one. Yeah, let's use that one. Yes, come on. Let's pick you. Come on, wait, where you gone? Try and pick you and whack you right on the tip here. That'd be cool. So my game did crash, as you saw, and all of my decals and everything disappeared, so we went back 10 minutes, but I've replaced them now, slightly different, but I think this way that I've placed them this time look a lot better. So it's not all doom and gloom. I think that's actually not too much of a problem at all. Right, I'm going to try and place this lighthouse without the game blowing up. I'm not really sure why my game did what it did, but it's working now. So we've added the lighthouse over here. Right at the end, added a few decorations, a few benches, a little seating area for this kind of like cafe sort of place right on the edge, so that you can watch the boats coming in or look down at the water at all the fish, etc, etc. So I think that looks quite cool. I'm quite happy with how that looks just up there. We just need to kind of figure out how we're going to do this. So I'm tempted, I don't know whether it's going to fit properly, but I want to just try and see if some hedges would work alongside this kind of walkway. It might not work because of the uneven land, as you can kind of see from that. But we can try and kind of see what we come up with. maybe we can just have it for the middle section, because that's where the land is actually flat rather than just a mess. So maybe we'll just put hedges in the middle section just to give it a bit more of a luxury sort of feel. So it's kind of like well maintained and well looked after. We'll just add those up to there and up to there. Makes it feel a little bit more full up. While I'm doing that section, I might as well do this section and draw that up to the same sort of area, and then on the other side as well, just like that. Fantastic. Good. I want to kind of maybe fit a little bistro or something. It's going to be a prop, it's not going to be an actual building, because getting the road round is going to be a bit of a problem, but I want something like a little cafe or similar that would potentially fit nicely on the end. That's not the correct sort of thing. Nice lighthouse. Yeah, maybe it'll be in here. Where are our unique buildings in this section? Do we have one? I don't know. I don't think we do. Where are the signature buildings props? Going a little bit crazy, probably. Now on this end of the entrance we've got this little cafe again with a nice little rooftop terrace that we've placed down at the top here, looking out over onto our boats, which looks pretty cool. And then a bit of a seating area, a few trees, just to give it that kind of posh sort of vibe to it. And that's looking pretty good if you ask me. I think that looks quite cool. Fantastic. Now with the rest of it, I think we're probably just going to have to line trees along this section, because there's not really much room to do much. But how's that looking? I think from where we started, I think that's looking really good. I know we've been here for hours and we haven't really done loads, but it's getting there, Okay, the next thing that I want to do is I want to start placing a few buildings along this edge here. I don't know what to do about in here as well. But yeah, a few buildings along the edge here, just kind of looking over the waterfront. So we're going to have to try and find these buildings. I believe they're all commercial, and I assume they're all going to be under this section here. We'll pick all of the level 5 ones. Just kind of see what comes up, to be honest with you. So yeah, these seem about right. I kind of want the biggest ones that we can get. See, so there's no 6x6. There's a few 5x6, which ugly as anything. These look all right. They look quite look over the port vibes. They look alright, they're not brilliant, but they're okay. Let's see what other size buildings there are. 5x5. I'm feeling they're all going to be the same, a few slightly different changes per level. For example, if I put that there and that there. I mean, it does give the right sort of vibe, not going to lie. It's alright, it's quite a decent corner piece. We just got to get rid of that horrendous looking green. Quite like the white sort of colour. Place that in there. Yeah, the white looks alright. That's not too bad. What else do we have cooking in here then? That's the same sort of thing, but yeah, same sort of thing. Anything else? 4x5. Oh, these are quite nice. Yeah, we can work with a couple of those. They look alright. So we could probably leave space for a road there. We ideally want them together. What about this? What is that? Okay, these are just interesting shaped buildings, it seems. Are these all the EU ones, aren't they? Yeah, I think I like the look of these. I think these look quite cool. If we can join them together, that would be grand. There we go. I like the look of those the most. I think that's probably definitely the best sort of theme to go for. Maybe we'll actually kind of go with them. Hopefully it won't look too repetitive, but I do like the look of those quite a lot. Pretty smart. What I might do is just place down all of those sort of styles. Can we change that? Yeah, we can. Fantastic. Let's just get rid of all of these, and then so that's all American. These are the ones. These are cool. These are nice. I like these. So let's just place some of these down. Now that could fit in somewhere. This is quite nice as well. Obviously we'll get rid of that pink. But this one, all the same sort of thing. So yeah, we'll place all of these down, and then we'll kind of have a little look to see what we think will fit in each place. Okay, so this is looking so much better now that we've added a few buildings kind of looking over it. I think that looks fantastic. There is a decent amount of repetition here, but it kind of just it's just the right sort of theme that I'm looking for. Looking over the top of the marina, I think that looks really quite nice. So I'm actually happy with the way that that is looking at the moment. I think it looks quite cool. We've just kind of built out a little bit, nothing too crazy. We need to fill in this gap as well. I'm not sure what with just yet, but I think as a whole, I think that marina is starting to come together pretty nicely. I think that looks quite cool. Obviously once we start filling out the rest of the city, it will look even better, but yeah, I think that looks pretty nice if you ask me. So I'm just in the process of thinking how we're going to connect all of these islands up. Obviously the simple route would be to go up here, but we also need some sort of access across here, even if it is just pedestrian for the time being, because we'll have some boats potentially going through here in the future. So I'm thinking potentially a pedestrian bridge. Let's see what rising bridges we have. Cable stayed pedestrian drawbridge, pedestrian bascule bridge, whatever that means. How large are you, sir? Oh my goodness. Even that is disgustingly massive. Why are you so huge? Wow, go to the gym, what the hell? That's massive. It's the only real way that I'm going to get anything across here is with that length, which is an incredible length. We'll have to essentially destroy a certain piece of land. But even if we do that, that is still ginormous. That even at 10 height as well. So this is it at 10 height to make it a little bit more believable. It's huge, man. That is actually massive. I don't know what we can do about that. What if we just actually just put a bridge at 10 height? What if we went one here to here? That's going to be nowhere near enough clearance for a mini ferry, is it? Never. Oh, this might be problematic. Unless we went wild. Why is that already so high up? But even if we went across the longest lengthways like that, that's still huge. Problem. So I'm in the process of trying to decide what we do with this section here. We can either turn this into a beach, which would be quite nice to chill out on. But we've also got loads of beaches, or alternatively we could have like a potential like a ferry terminal with the grand entrance to the where are some ferry terminal like this on the edge, potentially facing an alternative way like that so that it's straight and aligned, and then have that sort of going facing into the city. Potentially, I don't know. Kind of undecided. I mean, that ferry terminal could also go there quite easily, couldn't it? But then no pedestrian access, but it's a key. Why is there no access if it's literally on a key? Oh, is it because it's not clipping? There we go. So that would fit pretty perfectly. Nice little ferry stop. That would probably also fit, but I think that's a little bit too much. I think that's a bit big. So I don't know what to do with this area down here. I don't know whether to just key it all off, kind of like what I'm doing here, as you can see. Do that the whole way, and then have that like that, just a pedestrianised zone, or whether to turn it into a beach. I'm not sure. And the same with the rest of the island. We need to figure out some connectivity. We need to get a road over, especially over this section here. We will need some sort of drawbridge or lift bridge. That's seriously out of place, if you ask me. That's just way too big. I mean, that's a little bit better. Why does it do that? Why does it look so strange? There's that one, and there's a one-way, which is about the same sort of thing. So I'm not sure what to really do here. I don't know what's better. I think that is just way too over the top, in my opinion. This might be a little bit better. Should we just place this down and see what it looks like? I don't know why it does that, though. That's not right. Some math ain't math in there, son. Yeah, not sure. I don't think I'm going to have time to do it in this video. This video is already, what, 53 minutes long, and all we've done is this. You can show how much time it takes for me to try and get into the details and get it all right. But this is going to be an awesome build. Once we're done and dusted, that already looks so much better than before, what we had here before. All of this is still to play with, so we can get rid of this, we can reduce the size, make it bigger, have streams. We've still got to put all of the ferries in and all that stuff. So let me know what your thoughts are down below. Let me know what you think of the Marina. I really like it. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Don't forget you can hype the video, that helps me out massively. Love the hypes. You can do it 3 times each week, so you can put 3 on the video, and it helps me out massively. Thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Good night.